Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at just a single YouTube video,
Okay.
and it's from a creator named Isis.
Harry?
And the title of the video is "I Married a Monster."
Ooh, that's a...
So you can already kind of feel the weight of this title, right? Like there's a sense that something has gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, and what makes this even more compelling is that Isis has built her channel around portraying her husband as, like, the ideal partner.
Right.
She's even offered advice to her viewers on how to attract a man just like him.
Yeah, it's this whole image of a happy, successful marriage.
Exactly.
And now we have this video titled "I Married a Monster." It's like a complete 180.
Yeah, and the tone of the video itself makes it even more jarring because she starts by, like, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy.
Oh, really?
You know, she's mentioning, like, a new baby and some upcoming content that she's working on, but you can clearly see she's been crying.
Oh, wow.
And there's even a baby crying in the background, too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like this really strange juxtaposition.
Yeah. It sounds like she's trying to hold it together while her world is falling apart.
Yeah, exactly. And then she just drops this bombshell. She's had to leave her husband.
Oh,
Like, right out of the gate, just this huge revelation.
Especially considering, like you said, the persona she's cultivated online.
Right, exactly.
So it really begs the question, what could have possibly led to this?
Yeah.
Well, she goes on to explain that she discovered something was wrong when she was changing her 4-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And she noticed that her daughter was red and very sensitive, and her immediate thought was that someone had touched her inappropriately.
Oh, gosh.
And tragically, her worst fears are confirmed when her daughter reveals that it was her father.
Oh, my.
So this is where the video takes an even darker turn.
Yeah, it's chilling, and you can hear the pain and disbelief in her voice as she recounts this whole thing.
What I thought was really striking is how quickly she shifts into protective mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she knows she has to get her children out of that situation.
Right. It's like that mama bear instinct kicking in.
Absolutely. And she comes up with this plan to get all the kids out of the house without arousing suspicion.
Okay.
She tells her husband she's taking them Halloween shopping with her sister
Oh, wow.
and then goes straight to the hospital.
Oh, gosh.
So, you know, it's a testament to her ability to think clearly under extreme pressure.
Right.
She's not even thinking about confronting her husband. At this point, her sole focus is her children's safety.
Yeah, and at the hospital, they're told they need to go to another facility for, like, a specific type of examination.
Okay.
And a police officer escorts them, and then she's hit with another devastating blow. They discover that both of her daughters, ages 2 and 4, were victims of abuse.
Oh my gosh, those both.
Both of them, yeah. It's heartbreaking.
It's this realization that the abuse was happening right under her roof by the man she trusted most.
Mhm.
And, you know, this is where the contrast between her online persona and her reality becomes even more profound.
Right, and she even talks about how she's always been vigilant with her children, you know, watching them
Yeah.
like a hawk because of her own past trauma.
Oh, she has past trauma.
Yeah, she's a product of rape and was abused as a child herself.
Gosh, this adds another layer of complexity to the situation.
Yeah.
It makes her vigilance understandable. But it also begs the question, how could this have happened, even with her heightened awareness?
Right, like, how do you even process that?
It's a question that she grapples with.
Yeah.
Throughout the video, she expresses feelings of helplessness, confusion, and immense guilt.
That's gotta be so difficult.
And I think this is where the video starts to raise some broader questions about the nature of online identity.
Okay.
The pressure to present a perfect image and the hidden struggles people face, even those who seem to have it all figured out.
It really challenges our perceptions of the people we see online, doesn't it?
It does. And this is just the beginning of this deep dive. Stay with us as we continue to unpack this raw and emotional story and explore the wider implications of this creator's experience. Welcome back. We're continuing to explore this really intense YouTube video from Isis, where she revealed that her husband, the man she's built her channel around, portraying as like the perfect partner,
Right.
has been abusing their children.
It's a situation that raises so many questions about, you know, the facade we often see online and the potential for hidden darkness behind even the most seemingly perfect lives.
And for Isis, this isn't just about dealing with the immediate trauma of what her husband has done.
Right.
It's compounded by the fact that she herself is a survivor of abuse.
That's right. She mentions in the video that she's a product of rape and was abused as a child.
Ah.
And, you know, this experience has clearly shaped her worldview and her parenting style, making her, like, hyper-vigilant about her children's safety.
She even says she watches her children like a hawk because she's so determined to protect them from experiencing the same pain she went through.
Exactly, which makes the revelation that the abuse was happening under her own roof by the person she trusted most, all the more devastating.
Yeah.
It just completely shatters that sense of control and security that she's worked so hard to build.
And she really grapples with that in the video.
Yeah.
You hear her questioning how this could have happened, how she could have missed the signs, even with her heightened awareness.
It's a common response for survivors of trauma to internalize the blame and wonder what they could have done differently.
Right.
But it's so important to remember that the responsibility for the abuse lies solely with the abuser, no one else.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
not about blaming the victim or those around them. It's about recognizing the abuser's actions and holding them accountable.
This situation also sheds light on how our past experiences can influence our present perceptions and reactions.
Okay.
So for Isis, her own trauma likely amplified the feelings of betrayal and fear and helplessness that she's experiencing now.
And you also can't underestimate the additional pressure she's under because this is all happening so publicly.
Oh, absolutely.
She's chosen to share this incredibly personal and painful experience with her online audience.
That decision in itself speaks volumes about her strength and her desire to break the silence surrounding abuse.
Right.
It also highlights the complex relationship between our online personas and our real lives.
Think about it. She's built her entire brand around this image of a perfect marriage and family.
Right.
And now that image is completely shattered, and she's having to navigate the fallout in a very public way.
It forces us to confront the curated nature of much of what we see online.
Yeah.
People often present a very specific version of themselves, a highlight reel that might not reflect the full picture of their lives.
So how do you think this experience will impact her online presence moving forward? Will she be able to continue with her channel as it is, or will she need to reinvent herself in some way?
It's impossible to say for sure, but it's certainly a pivotal moment for her.
Yeah.
She acknowledges in the video that she's unsure about what the future holds, whether she'll keep the channel name, what kind of content she'll create.
It's understandable that she's feeling uncertain right now.
Oh, absolutely.
She's going through a major upheaval in her life, and she's doing it in the public eye.
But whatever path she chooses, she's demonstrating incredible resilience.
Yeah.
By sharing her story, she's opening up a space for others to feel seen and heard, and potentially empowering them to seek help and support if they're experiencing something similar.
It's a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, we have the capacity for growth and transformation. Now, as we head into the final part of this deep dive, I want you to consider this. How does Isis's story challenge our own assumptions about the people we encounter online? Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Isis's story. It's been a heavy journey, exploring the events that led to her leaving her husband and the complex layers of trauma she's dealing with,
Yeah.
all while navigating this very public platform.
Yeah. And I think what strikes me is how this one video challenges so many of our assumptions about the online world.
Right.
We often talk about social media being a highlight reel, but this situation really drives that point home.
Yeah, it's like seeing behind the curtain.
Exactly.
We're so used to seeing these curated, perfect versions of people's lives.
Right.
And it's easy to forget that everyone has struggles. Everyone has secrets.
And this isn't just about the pressure to present a perfect image. It's also about the potential for abuse to hide in plain sight. You have this woman who's built her entire brand around her marriage, and all the while this darkness is lurking beneath the surface.
And think about the impact this has on her audience.
Mm-hmm.
They've been following her advice, looking up to her and her husband as role models.
Right.
And now they're left to grapple with the realization that their reality was so different from the image that was being projected.
It raises important questions about the responsibility we have as content creators and consumers.
Right.
How do we balance the desire for authenticity with the need to protect ourselves and our families? How do we even discern what's real and what's not in a world that's so saturated with curated content?
And what about the support systems we have in place for people who are going through these kinds of experiences? Isis chose to share her story publicly, but so many others suffer in silence. What can we do to create a culture where people feel safe and supported to come forward both online and offline?
I think it starts with fostering empathy and understanding, recognizing that we never truly know what someone else is going through, even if they seem to have it all together.
Right.
It's about listening without judgment and offering support without trying to fix things.
I think Isis's decision to leave the future of her channel open-ended really resonated with me.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that healing isn't linear. There's no quick fix, no easy answers.
Yay.
It's an ongoing process, and it looks different for everyone.
And it's okay to not know what the future holds, to embrace the uncertainty and allow ourselves the space to grieve, to heal, to rebuild.
Yeah.
Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is simply acknowledge where we are and take things one day at a time.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. What resonated most with you in Isis's story? How has it shifted your perspective on the complexities of online identity, the prevalence of abuse, and the importance of empathy and support?
Let this be a catalyst for deeper conversations, both within yourself and with those around you. Because it's through these conversations, through sharing our experiences and perspectives, that we create a more understanding and compassionate world.